Hey, my name is Lizzie Smiley, and I absolutely love helping people connect with their calling and all the tools they need to kick roadblocks and excuses right out the door so they can cultivate the life they dream about. If you want to launch, grow, pivot, or scale your Etsy shop, or you've always wanted to develop the mindset and skills to run your own business, then I'm your girl. I've had that entrepreneurial spirit going strong since my very first lemonade stand, and now I'm a work-at-home mama with multiple online companies and a full-time Etsy shop, all while being present with my kids for the everyday chaos and most important milestones. On this podcast, we'll talk about all things business, mindset, Etsy, creativity, dazzling our customers, and so much more. There's plenty of room at this table for you, so scooch on in and let's go. I'm holding nothing back. Welcome to How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast. We are having a very different kind of conversation today, and I am so here for it. I hope that you are too. As we are planning for the next coming weeks, I want to let you know what is happening so that you can jump on anything that is a good fit for you. First of all, coming up on May 15th, Jenny from the shop and I are doing our very first mindset workshop. I cannot wait for this. We are going to meet with you and teach you about the mindset to become from 0 to 100K Etsy seller. And it is going to be so powerful. We are going to help you identify what your limiting beliefs are that are holding you back. We are going to help you find out what your mindset blocks are so that you can start rewiring them and move forward. And then we are going to have a very practical planning session where we are going to teach you the actual physical things that you need to do, the activities that you need to do, the actions you need to take to build a successful six-figure Etsy shop. In addition to that, tonight, this Thursday, right now, in a few hours, we are going to have our live AI workshop for wall art. So if you would like to learn how to make printable wall art using AI, you're going to want to come to this workshop and or grab the replay. The thing about AI art, first of all, it's not saturated at all if you know how to go after the trends. I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to find what to design that is very high demand but low competition, how to use and prompt the AI to create it for you, and then most importantly, how to resize it, how to actually adjust it so that you can sell it in different sizes, because that is what Etsy shoppers are looking for. And the AI won't do that for you automatically. So this is a part that takes a little skill. I'm going to teach you how to set it up as a high quality download that for your customers so they're getting a great quality that'll scale up and scale down for them. I'm going to teach you how to find the perfect SEO to get ranked for it. You're going to walk away with being able to add an entirely new product to your tool belt to be able to sell on Etsy for semi-passive income. So grab that if it's a good fit for you. And then finally, I have been testing the waters to see if any of you would be interested in an all-inclusive membership with me. That would mean that while you are in the membership paying monthly, you'll have access to everything I have created and everything I do. You get access to the trend spotting membership, to all of my workshops, all of my courses. The only exception would be the mindset stuff with Jenny. That would be separate. But every other thing that I put out, you would have access to all of my courses, all of my workshops while you're in that membership. So for a few months, you could be in for it would be less than having to pay for everything individually. So let me know down in the survey below and drop your email for me if that is something that you'd be interested in. I'm just testing the waters to see if that's something I should set up for people. So today we are talking all about ADHD because I've been getting messages from you guys since I kind of talk about every once in a while. You hear me lose my train of thought and I'll be like, oh, it's the ADHD. So many of you, so many creative entrepreneurial women have ADHD. And so I want to talk through some of the ways that I cope with that. I really don't have to cope, like how I actually use it as a superpower. And today I'm bringing in my sister, Caroline. She was here for the 100th episode that we did. She interviewed me. She was diagnosed ADHD when she was in, I want to say like 8th grade. I should have asked her that. When we were children, she was actually taken to the doctor, diagnosed, and put on medication because she was having so much trouble focusing and getting schoolwork done. It really showed up for her as a scholarly issue with school. For me, no one ever blinked an eye at me. And it wasn't until I was like late 30s, I would say after my first child, that I started exhibiting some ADHD symptoms. And my sister was like, hey, have you thought about this? Because you kind of tick these different boxes. And I've learned from ADHD expert Tracy Otsuka that a lot of women, as they get older, they may have had it their whole life, but it really starts to present in sort of a perimenopause kind of time frame as we get older. And so that's been really interesting for me to explore. So today we are going to talk through all things successful. We're both multiple six-figure earners, ADHD women, and how it affects us professionally, what tools we are using, and just some of the things to the characteristics of women who have ADHD and how we're overcoming them. So please help me welcome Caroline to the podcast. This is going to be so fun. Real quick, guys, before we dive into today's episode, I just want to make absolutely certain that you know about the tool Profit Tree. My friends over at Profit Tree, which is the only Etsy automated profit tracking and ads optimization tool on the market today, they're currently offering lifetime access for a limited time offer. So this is something you need to jump on. I recently interviewed Hannah here on the podcast. It was episode 174, if you haven't heard it yet. She's the owner of Profit Tree, and she's been teaching people how to, at a minimum, 2 times their Etsy sales and increase profits by at least 20% with her Etsy ad strategy. It's literally lit. It's so sophisticated. She's so good at it. She alone has spent over $400,000 on Etsy ads. So she has the experience. She knows what she's talking about, and she's really, really good at teaching it. So her tool, Profit Tree, not only helps you to do this, but her lifetime deal also comes with free access to an ads masterclass that you're going to want to get. It reveals all of her methods. I'm going to link all of this in the description for you to grab Profit Tree at that really discounted lifetime rate. Knowing your real profit for your business is so, so important no matter what you sell. And they make it super easy, even for print on demand sellers, with Printify and Printful integrations. So you can see a true picture of where your business is at and scale for profit, not just for revenue. Awesome stuff, guys. Not sure how long the lifetime offer is going to be available or how long the link will be active after posting this. So make sure and grab it today. And let's dive into this episode. I got my sister back on the podcast. Hey,
Hello.
Caroline.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
$10 to the people who can differentiate between our voices.
Yeah, truly. Good luck.
Since our parents can't, it's kind of funny. The best, though, is when we say the same thing, the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Yes.
Because
That'll
even though we're
happen
sisters
4 to
and
6 times.
Yes, and I'm going to get so many comments about interruption about this episode. I can already feel it. All the men are literally hitting next right now. But the best is how we're such different people, super, super close, but such different people, and yet still say all of the same things at the exact same time.
Yes, absolutely. Our brains are very similar, actually.
Well, I trained you.
Yeah, I'm just a copy paste of you.
But much cuter, much cooler. So everyone loved when you were here for the 100th episode, which, by the way,
fun.
We're only 20 episodes away from the 200th. So that's bananas. So guys, get used to Caroline. But I've been getting all of these messages lately asking more about ADHD because I kind of goof all the time about every time I lose my train of thought, I'm like, LOL. It's the ADHD.
There she is. There
she is. And I was just on the amazing Tracy Osuka's podcast, who does all about ADHD. It's just all very kismet. So
that was such a fun eepisode to listen to.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. I thought it was great.
Did you really? I talked about you.
She's a riot.
She
is such a riot. And you know what's very cool? Because I am a person that exists with ADHD. A lot of my TikTok feed is about ADHD. And her book, I've seen multiple TikToks about her book and had no idea that you had the connection to her.
What is it called? ADHD for
smart ass woman.
Badass woman. I should know. Smart ass. Yes.
Smart ass, badass.
Sorry for swearing for the first time probably ever on the podcast. No, it was I said it first. It's a great book, and she had come on my podcast a year or so ago, and we clicked. She said she was on a book tour at the time. Hello, the book tour. And she said that she was interviewed hundreds of times, and I was one of the very few people she remembered, and she wanted me to come talk on her podcast. And LOL, I'm not officially diagnosed except for by you.
Well, and I will diagnose a person. I will.
You have every right. But you were, as a kid, officially diagnosed. And so we kind of know. I want to get into that in a minute, but I want to start with kind of a big question. I want to know if you think ADHD holds you back professionally.
So this is such an interesting question because you could look at that. There's a macro answer and a micro answer to that.
Ooh, I want both.
On a day-to-day, I would be lying to you if I didn't say that because I have ADHD, there are tasks that I will struggle to finish when I've scheduled to finish them, or that I'll have executive dysfunction starting, right? All of those.
What's that? What's executive dysfunction? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, hold on. See, I'm going to be bad at describing these things. Hold
on. I'll look it up. Do you want to your definition would be highly entertaining. Refers to challenges in planning, organizing, and executing tasks due to difficulties with executive functions, which are cognitive skills that help regulate thoughts, emotions, and behaviors.
Yes. So if you're someone who has ADHD and you've ever had trouble starting a task, Like, even if you really want, like in your bones, you want to start, like, I need to get this done. I want to work on it, but you absolutely cannot. That's like an executive dysfunction where I quite literally cannot make myself start doing something. Do you ever experience that?
Not a little bit, but not really. I have resistance, but I can make myself do just about anything other
And
than the
so
litter
I
boxes.
I will have huge issues with that. I can. So in a micro way, on a day to day, are there times where it's like, oh man, I really needed to do that task like 2 hours ago, and I didn't? Yeah. So ADHD will impact it in that way negatively. But overall, I do not think it's a hindrance because I think I am very high energy. I am very creative. I can think outside the box. I have a lot of adaptability. And so all of those things I think make me a much stronger professional than it does hinder me when I don't necessarily stay perfectly on top of my to-do list because everything still gets done. And if actually in some instances they get done better because I'm using hyper focus in the end to get them done because there's like a time crunch that will motivate me to, you know, ungodly heights.
Do you think that because we are both multiple six-figure earner women, and we have our ADHD shows up kind of differently in some ways,
Yeah, very much so.
but do you think it's given you an advantage? Because not, I mean, there's actually, I'm going to go through a list in a minute. There are a ton of there's kind of a higher likelihood of sometimes women with ADHD to be super successful.
Yes. I think it is more of an advantage to me than a disadvantage overall.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, it can be very challenging at times, and there are ways that it impacts my life on a daily basis that like doesn't bleed into work necessarily, right? So, but again, like the creativity, the ability to hyper focus. I have high emotional intelligence that I think definitely comes from the ADHD. I can recognize patterns and pick things up pretty quickly. So I can read cues, especially in the midst of like contract negotiations with which I do at my job at a pretty high level. You know, like I'm talking about $10 million contracts that I'll help negotiate. And so to be able to pick up on people's cues and watch for signals and patterns and things like that, it, like is definitely advantageous. And again, I have I have a surprising amount of resiliency, mainly because I'll forget. But girl, I can jump right back on that horse and keep going. They say that's one of the reasons that like salespeople, people with ADHD make good salespeople because you hear no so many times. But if you start forgetting or like, you know, the ADHD just sort of filters through
Oh,
you have
okay.
more, yeah, you can be more resilient.
I
And
have
I feel
that.
like I
I
definitely have
forget
that.
everything. And I
Yeah.
always thought it was because I did so much. I was like I was almost a therapist slash life coach. And I heard all of the worst of everybody's life. And if I kept it, I would have spiraled into a depression. I just thought I was like deleting it. I thought God was just deleting it every night so I could function
Well,
better.
and you know what? In a way, that is what it
Okay.
is just getting filtered out.
I think it'd be interesting to chat about. I just want to read through. Where did it go? A list of characteristics that are common for ADHD for people to kind of tick off in their heads and for you and me. So I'm going to do them quick. There's 16 of them, and I think we should
I'm
both just
excited
say
about
yes.
this.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
yes or no. And then whoever's listening, like, okay, to be honest, what I want this episode to do is encourage anyone who feels like they're struggling with ADHD to like, I don't want to tell anyone they should look at it as their superpower, but I do want to empower you that it doesn't have to hold you back. And so, like, between getting
Absolutely.
diagnosed and in some cases getting medication or getting tools from Tracy Otsuka, like this does not have to be. I'm devastated for the woman who feels completely held back by it.
Right.
So that's our whole point. So this is the funniest conversation. This is almost unhinged. I'm so cracking up at just
Why?
how, because we're just like, discombobulated because the two of us together on this topic, it's hysterical. But you
I
know
love
what? The people with ADHD are going to love it. The people who don't are going to be like, and next. And you know what? Go listen to Jenna Kutcher. I respect you. So number
it.
one, although she's also ADHD. Number one, difficulty with time management. Yes or no?
Yeah. Oh, bigly. Yeah.
Not really for me. A little bit. Hyper focus. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes, I told Tracy, yes, sometimes I can appear cult-like about this. Disorganization,
Well, it
yes or no?
depends who you're at. It depends who you're asking.
Okay. It says
Well,
keeping
because
physical or digital spaces organized can be a challenge. Women with ADHD may find it difficult to maintain a tidy workspace.
right. Yes. No, my workspace can become hectic. It definitely can. However, I know where everything is. So it is organized
Exactly.
chaos. But yeah,
Exactly.
no, it's I do not need to front. Yeah, my workspace is a wreck.
I'm looking at my desk right now, I have like a nervous twitch. It's making me itch.
Yeah, I do have to. That's the thing though. It does become overwhelming. And so I will have to do like a full reset to really feel like good again.
Do you like it to be tidy? Do you prefer a tidy space?
Oh my gosh, yes. I
Mm-hmm.
feel mentally so much better in a tidy space. And Matthew and I do regularly talk about how the like tidiness of the house and how organized everything is definitely an external reflection of however we're feeling internally, you know? So I can tell
Wow.
where we've been more overwhelmed with more things have been going on, like the house looks like it. And weeks where we're feeling like more peaceful, whatever, it's cleaner.
I still can't figure out why I don't just take the extra 10 seconds to put something where it's supposed to go rather than having piles.
Literally never felt that, never tasted that. Couldn't do it if I wanted to. Here's the thing, I can do it for like a day. No, I'll do it for a couple days. Everything will be pristine. Everything will be perfect in its spot, and everything has a spot. And I'll become a little cuckoo bananas about it. I'll be like militant about making sure everything, like there can't even be a speck of water in the sink. But then I don't know what happens. And like 72 hours in, the switch flips. And then 24 hours later, every surface is covered in things. I don't know.
You toggle OCD, ADHD, which PS, so does my daughter, who, by the way, coined the term cuckoo bananas.
Yes, which I say all the time.
10-year-old little body.
Cuckoo bananas it always fits. It doesn't matter the scenario. I can say cuckoo bananas and it fits.
So. Everyone loves it. It's a crowd pleaser. Number 4 is impulsivity.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Only a little.
Do you think I'm impulsive?
No.
I'm kind of not, right? I was trying to be self-aware, but
I would not describe you as impulsive.
I can be a little impulsive with business.
I was going to say like shopping. Like the other day.
Lord.
And like you made an expensive perfume purchase, which you absolutely should have and you deserved. But like that to me feels like impulsive ADHD.
I had actually been planning that though since your bridal shower, and I just hadn't been out to a store that had it yet. I wanted to smell it because it was expensive. I wanted to smell it before I bought it. But yeah,
true,
it was.
I won't do that. I will just buy it.
No, I have to smell a perfume.
Not impulsive.
Yeah. What about emotional sensitivity?
Am I? I'm very sensitive. Yes.
ADHD, women with ADHD are often more emotionally sensitive and may feel things deeply. This can lead to higher levels of empathy, but also increased emotional reactivity to stress or criticism. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, all of those.
Number 6 is low self-esteem.
No.
No.
Thankfully, that one missed me.
As a child, I was very low self-esteem, but as a woman, I'm probably overly confident.
I don't think you're overly confident. Why would you say that?
Well, thank you. I don't know, because I don't know.
Be nice to my friend.
Not in a toxic way. Just I'm very not low self-esteem. But it does say, so anyone listening who maybe feels like that might be them, it says that due to years of struggling with symptoms like forgetfulness, disorganization, or difficulty focusing, many women with ADHD may experience low self-esteem. This can be especially shame pronounced if they've been overlooked or misunderstood in academic or work settings. Yes, my entire childhood. Yes. The word misunderstood really resonates.
Yeah, and you want to know what, that one does resonate for me as well. Definitely feeling misunderstood. Not only
as a kid, you were very misunderstood.
Not only like being a student and okay, sorry, I'm trying to form a thought because I don't think anyone ever questioned my capability. I think my capability was like understood. It was why then I couldn't get homework assignments done or whatever else, you know. And it's just like I had very, very classically presenting ADHD. And so definitely feeling like some kind of failure, like irresponsible, disorganized, whatever else, where it's just like, sorry. We
were both often told like that we're not working up to our own potential. And that I was told that 100 times as a child, to the point where now I almost like overwork and still, I don't know. It's so interesting. Okay. So a little bit, but
I've always felt confident though. I feel like
You've always felt what? Confident.
Yeah,
you've always been very confident. What about number 7 is chronic distraction?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes. I can get distracted about anything at any time in about 4 nanoseconds.
We really can't watch a TV show together. It's sort of pointless.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to sometimes just have conversations in general. Like even right now, I'm sitting here looking at some of the things on my desk, just distracted by needing to put them away.
It says that this can make it difficult to stay on task, follow through with projects, or remember important details. Oh my gosh, the remembering things these days. Number 8 is procrastination.
Yes. Painful.
You identify with that one?
Yeah, that is when I talked about like, and I don't know how well I explained it, but like macro and micro ways that it impacts work, the procrastination definitely will impact me.
Women with ADHD often put off tasks, especially those with that feel overwhelming, boring, or lack immediate rewards.
Yes.
Procrastination can become a significant hurdle in managing daily responsibilities or achieving long-term goals. I struggled with that a lot more when I was young.
Fear can be a big part of it. Like, it talks about the task is overwhelming, but if you're scared about the outcome of it, or it feels really daunting, or for me, like at work, like this project is due for, like I'm presenting this to our CEO tomorrow, I can have trouble starting because I am very worried about like rising to the challenge and the occasion and performing at the level in which I know that I can. But so I will procrastinate because I have fear associated with being able to achieve that.
Okay. And overwhelm is coming up. And for me, these are connected. If I feel overwhelmed, like for example, if I'm even thinking about Etsy, like let's say there are literally like 10 different niches I want to create things for. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, where do I start? And it's not even like a huge overwhelm, like you doing a presentation to someone. Well, you know what? I experienced this with like when I put on workshops, and it's something I haven't been doing for years. And I know that 100 people are going to be there and watch it, and it's going to be live. I feel overwhelmed at the responsibility of delivering really high quality. And so then I will procrastinate actually doing it right now, literally as we speak. So that's the way it shows up, but not in the way, I mean, I'm thinking about back in like high school when I wouldn't write a paper until the night before.
Oh,
I would never do that now.
That's classic too.
I would never do that now. Okay. Number 9 is strong creativity and problem solving skills.
Bigly.
Both of us. Yes. Yes. Naturally creative, the ability to think outside the box, excel in environments that require innovation, coming up with unique solutions to challenges. Love it. Yes. Number 10 is difficulty with routines and structure.
I'm desperate for one. Oh my gosh. I'd love to be a little routine girl, but that's not my journey, and that's okay.
It's interesting that you want one because I don't. Like, I am insistent on staying in places where I don't feel controlled by a routine.
Oh, I think, you want to know what? I think it would be nice to have, like, in the mornings to have more of a routine.
Okay.
I think that really would be nice.
Like before work? Before work starts?
Right.
Okay.
Because I work remotely from home, and work starts at 8 a.m. and my alarm is going off at like 7:54.
Yes. Mom was always so good about that. Do you remember her in the mornings when we were kids, and she'd go and she'd get up, she'd get her coffee, she'd read her book. She was so structured with her mornings.
Yes. And I see people that are like this, that have a whole, have you seen this? It's like my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5. And then my 5 to like, am I saying that? Yeah. And so it's like how people structure their whole morning before their job starts. And, they work out, they have a great meal, and they read, and they do their skincare, and they put together a cute outfit, and then they like walk to work and all of this stuff. I do think working at home, well, no, I mean, I could have a routine if I worked at home.
No, but it all kind of melds together, right? You don't have, so like for me, what helps me is that our nanny gets here at 9 a.m. So unfortunately, whether I like it or not, I have to be, and because what's going to happen is my 2-year-old's going to throw an absolute fit about me walking out the door when she's here if I don't have so like I have to get up, get him breakfast, get ready, get dressed, get everything, and get out there. And part of me hates it, and part of me is like, oh, I'm more productive now.
See, and that's the thing. At mornings when we are up earlier and have to do something, like my whole day goes better. I feel like it's just starting with more momentum, and I need momentum.
Are you a print-on-demand or digital product Etsy seller who's tight on time or still learning all of the Etsy secrets? I totally remember the days of having no idea what product to create next before I learned how to make those informed decisions so I can really identify with where you're at. I know how stressful and frustrating it can be to just create listing after listing and see little to no results. You wonder what you're doing wrong, and you just want someone to tell you what to create that's actually going to sell. Where are those opportunities? So let me give you a leg up with my weekly trends and opportunities report. You just join my membership, and every Monday, I'm going to send you an email with a list of exactly what is trending right now with a video tutorial showing you how I found those trends and how to apply them in your shop. We're taking guesswork and extensive time off of your table. I'm also going to send you 5 print-on-demand and digital product opportunities that are growing in demand right now, helping new shops make sales and still have very low saturation in the marketplace. So your tight schedule, your newbie status doesn't have to hold you back anymore. I'm going to help you earn while you learn. You can grab my free demo to start and see an example of what the weekly trends and opportunities email looks like right from the show notes. See what you're going to get, and I will see you on the inside soon.
Number 11 is tendency to feel overwhelmed. That's a big one for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, I was going to say, I don't know. That's not huge for you though, is it? You don't seem like.
Oh, definitely.
Really? How does it apply? Where do you get overwhelmed?
I will get overwhelmed at work. Some of it though, has to do with the culture of the particular environment that I am in.
Yeah.
That depends, but I can get very overwhelmed. Well, and you know what? I will get frustrated. I get frustrated when I'll get frustrated. That's probably a big way that my overwhelm will manifest. It's like frustrating.
This definition is interesting. It says the combination of being easily distracted, disorganized, and feeling a sense of urgency due to procrastination can make women with ADHD feel overwhelmed by their responsibilities or life in general.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Just interesting. Like, who never ever gets overwhelmed is my husband. Ever. Never.
I know. I'm so jealous.
Never. I've seen him once, and it was in 2020. This is a good side story. 2020, June, middle of COVID, you are with us. We are driving the RV for the first time up to Wisconsin. The new car decides to break down. The transmission just dies.
Literally.
By the way, all the factories are making ventilators. We couldn't get a new transmission for like 4 months.
Right.
It was an absolute disaster. But when that happened, and we had no options because if anyone has ever been to Illinois or thereabouts, our favorite restaurant is Portillo's. And we had stopped at Portillo's for dinner, and we were having the time of our life. And then that car was not leaving that parking lot. And we literally slept in the RV at Portillo's
slept at Portillo's.
Nobody could help us. There were no trotra. It was a disaster. That was the only time I've ever seen him overwhelmed. And I had to be like, okay, I guess I'm going to figure this out then.
And we survived to tell the tale. But that was
honestly, one of the best stories to date.
So funny. We just sat there and drank Chandon in the parking lot of Portillo's.
In our camping chairs.
Hanging out. Yes. It was great.
Number 12 is sensitivity to rejection or criticism. Huh.
Yeah.
It depends on who's throwing it at me.
Yeah. Oh, you want to know what? Yes. It definitely depends where the source.
Yep.
But it can. Yes. I will feel the rejection very, very deeply. Like I will feel it. It's very visceral how I feel it.
Ugh, yes. Oh my gosh, I had a really good thought and I lost my train of thought because LOL. What was I going to say about that? Well, let me see if I'll come back to it. Sensitivity to rejection or criticism. Women with ADHD can be particularly sensitive.
About how the source can.
Yes. Oh, this is what it was. I feel like I'm very hyper aware to micro rejections.
Yes.
LOL, we just did this. Remember a few weeks ago. And also the best/worst part about being your sister and your skills is that I cannot hide a thing from you. It's on my face. Yes. The entire world thinks I am just footloose and fancy free. And you're like, WTF is wrong. And actually you're like, but actually I already know, but let's,
you know what? Let's chat really quick. Well, I feel like I could teach a master class in the facial expressions and what they mean about all of our family members. Because you could do it with me too. Well, and you and I have a great strength. We can read most people, even if they're new. But yes, when you're people think that I'm footloose and fancy free, and if your nose wrinkles in a certain direction, I know.
But the same. Neither of us can hide anything. But I am try to be so socially aware. I'm always trying to read do these people feel like I'm talking too long or too much? Have I out? Do I need to walk away? And I think I often maybe overcorrect, and I maybe even end a conversation earlier than people want to because I'm watching for those micro rejections. Yes. Yeah. Did we talk about hyper aware? I don't even know if we. Interesting. Oh, maybe I don't know. Emotional sensitivity. What about this is great. Number 13 is high energy levels.
Yeah.
Many women with ADHD experience bursts of energy, which can help them power through projects or tackle challenges. However, this can also lead to feelings of restlessness or difficulty relaxing.
Yes. All of
You
it.
relax well. You're good at that. No? Ooh, tell me more. Is it because your brain's still going, or?
Right. Yes. I want
So
to
you might
relax
look
more, but
like you're relaxing, but you're not.
yeah, it could be warfare up in here.
Oh,
Potentially.
okay.
So it depends. But I love a relax. Like I am trying to do a relax. I love it. But I can be very hyper. I was more hyper younger. I feel
Yeah.
like some of my hyperness has definitely been quelled to a degree, but I'm definitely high energy. And in a social setting, I can be like a very high energy person.
Yes, you bring the party. Yes.
There's that. Also, I heard you talking about this the other day. Oh, it might have been on Tracy's podcast. Tracy?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no. Did you see it leave? It just fully left. Hold on. Oh no. Oh
What were we
no.
talking about? Maybe I can jar your memory.
I just watched it. Just walk right out. Wow, it just
Oh, how you were when you were younger, you were a lot more. You were a
Oh,
lot.
I got it. When so when people when people meet me for the first time, it
Uh-huh.
depends. It totally depends. There
People
are
love
some
you.
people love you. But sometimes when people meet me and I'm, you and I both, we bring a lot of energy. We're excited. We are inquisitive.
Ask
Like
questions. Yep.
we are trying to get to know you, and you're important to us. Okay, I want to know you. So,
I want you to feel known, is what it really is.
to be honest, sometimes I actually don't care about knowing you, but I want you to feel known.
Yeah.
Just kidding, but you know what I mean.
No, but yeah, it's yeah.
But so people will meet me and I will be very high energy, and they will think that I am faking it. They'll think it's an act.
Yes. Same.
I'm like really high energy and I'm really like, we're nice. I am nice and I'm giving out compliments and I am, because I mean it and I want you to feel
Yep.
good. I actually
Yep.
I give out compliments all the time and it is so genuine. So if I see you on the
Yes.
I'm yelling about how beautiful you look in that top, just know that I felt that in my body and it needed to come out. Like I mean that.
I was with one of Caroline's friends the other day. We're all in her bridal party, so I went and had dinner with one of them that I really enjoy. And I'm like complimenting people as we're walking past them. She's like, I am with Caroline. I'm just like,
yeah, yes. You can't help it. It's literally, I can't explain it. It's got to come out of my body. Two of my best friends, when they met the first time, Caitlin and Allie, they bonded over being out with me is like such an experience because I am making friends. I am meeting people. I am talking to everybody. And Caitlin was like, yeah, walking around with her is crazy. And Allie goes, yeah, Caroline just walks up to a table and is like, hey, what's up? I agree. That's their joke about me. But you know what? It's true. But so the point is, some people think that it's very artificial when they first meet me.
Yeah.
And then when they've known me for 3 months and I am the exact same way, like nothing has changed. I'm still like up here all the time. They're like, oh, it's real. And also, that's awesome about you because it is really genuine. I don't know what the question was.
No, but the point is it takes time to win people over with that. We're both, it's the high energy. Also, I have a slight side note I've got to tell you. Do you know how we are constantly forgetting things and then we help each other remember it like really quick?
Yeah.
Randomly, my husband hates when I do that. If he can't remember anything, he does not want me trying to jar his memory. It's the weirdest thing. I can't.
You better be helping me remember.
Absolutely. No, it's like it's the most foreign thing to me that I have to sit there and be like, don't say anything, don't talk about it, and then he'll figure it out himself. He's just like he's rarely particular, but he's like, don't help me remember. So funny. I'm actually just wondering if it's an ADHD thing. Like we're all used to just talking over each other and
I was going to say, because you and I will do that, Caitlin and I will do that, Matthew and I will do that, but those are all people with ADHD.
Yes. Ooh. What about mom and dad?
I want you to fill in the gaps.
I feel like when we're with mom and dad, though, we're helping each other so fast that they're just looking at us. They're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it depends. Probably for the most part, yes. I feel like mom and dad will help fill in gaps, though, sometimes.
Who will, dad?
Mom and dad, depending on what it is. Like, if I'm talking and I can't remember.
Honestly, everyone just chuckles at you all the time. You're the family cartoon character.
As I sit here itching my nose on this YouTube. Hey, YouTube.
Well, actually, do you know what I wanted to say is like
try, but as I
we like don't sound the same today because of your allergies. So like I'm retracting my previous statement.
I'm sorry to everybody who's having to listen to me like sniffle and clear my throat. Texas allergies are
gnarly.
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't want to get a bunch of emails like y'all don't sound anything alike.
And speaking of ADHD, the way that I have been out of Zyrtec for a week and a half because I haven't gotten it. And I'm probably now in enough discomfort to really motivate me to go get some after today.
That's what Favor is for.
Yeah, I know.
If they can get fit, you can get. You just can't get the stuff with the D.
You can Uber Eats it even.
Even better.
Yeah.
We're home stretching it on this list. We're on number 14. Need for novelty and stimulation. No, not at all. Need for novelty and stimulation. LOL. Women with ADHD often thrive when they're engaged in new and stimulating activities. This can drive them to constantly seek out new projects or ideas to keep their attention from waning. Yes. This is squirrel. This is shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, and I have it. I have it.
So for me, it's business ideas. How does it typically show up for you?
It is definitely not business ideas for me.
No.
It's like more creative for me, I want to say. Like I will get a wild hair about something in my house and I will have like furniture or art
your
or
design
whatever, and I will have to change it. I'm super obsessed with that. If we're like cooking something or serving something and I'm doing like, I'll like really get hyper focused and care a lot of what do you see me staring off in his face.
No, I just had a thought.
Like I'm going to care about the table scale. Like it'll come out for me in really creative ways. But I'll squirrel about it.
Are you brand new to Etsy, about to get started, or struggling a bit to find your groove? What I'm about to say is just for you, okay? I can completely relate to where you're at because I think I can help you achieve success faster. When I first started my Etsy shop, it was not one of those success stories that we hear on the big YouTube channels, even on this podcast, where I just had crazy success and it took off right away, right? I all but failed for my first 6 months, just like a lot of new sellers. And so it's very relatable. And the issue for me was I didn't understand demand, for one. I didn't understand SEO. I was way too broad in my search terms. And I didn't know how to position my product so that customers just couldn't help but click add to cart. And so once I learned those things, I went from making about $25 a month in sales to $6,000 a month and up. And in the holidays, I would even have $13,000 months, like at my shop's peak. And the thing about me, if you've been here for a minute, you already know this. I'm a terrible gatekeeper, okay? When I figure something out, when I crack a code, when I get excited, I cannot help but tell everybody who wants to listen. It's like either my best asset or my toxic trait. I can't decide. But I put everything that you need to know to fill that beginner knowledge gap into a low ticket, just under 3 hours beginner course that I have called 6-Figure Secrets to Getting Started on Etsy. In it, I'm teaching you how to find what's in demand for your niche, how to find and use trends, how to start your shop if you're worried about that part, SEO strategy to find the micro niches where the opportunity is, how to understand the Etsy algorithm, and a ton more. The whole thing is bite-sized videos, not long form, just small bite-sized videos, zero fluff, and to the point. You could get the course today, go through the less than 3 hours over the next couple days, launch your shop this weekend, and have sales coming in as soon as Sunday. So let's get you the few missing pieces of the Etsy success puzzle, those little tweaks you need to make so you can start making the sales that you deserve, because I have never been more convinced that there is room at this table on Etsy for everyone. And the opportunity is so ripe right now. I am in the numbers, in the data every day, and my mind just keeps expanding on the possibilities, okay? So as a special treat, use the code SAVE50 to save $50 on the 6-Figure Secrets course today. That's $50 off with the coupon SAVE50. And by all means, DM me or shoot me an email when those sales start popping because I want to celebrate with you.
I was wondering this the other day when I was at your house. Do you guys, so like when Chris, my husband, and I start a TV series, we watch that TV series through the end. Obviously not if it's dripping every week. But like I feel like you guys skip around TV shows, and that is crazy to me.
It's because a lot of the TV shows we watch, we're up to date with.
Okay. All right. So it's not because
but it's because I don't have a backlog of like White Lotus to watch. Like we're watching it every single Sunday. So you're hearing us talk about like that and Righteous Gemstones and whatever else that we're all watching at this point.
Okay. You're watching them. You're just more like I need it to come out and then I need you to filter it and be like, tell me if I'm built for it.
Well, you like it. Yeah. I never meant that in a bad way.
No, it was so good.
It's a compliment.
We're chuckling about a few years ago. She was suggesting a TV show for me. Or I was asking, what should I watch? I need something new. And she's like going through her list. She's like, oh no, you can't watch this one. You're not built for it. And she just meant because it was so funny. And of course, then I had to go watch it. And I did struggle a little bit.
Spite. She had to go watch it.
It wasn't spite. It was like, I had to know. Like, then I had to know. But she was just meaning because I tend to be I'm very intentional with what I watch and listen to. And
also it's a compliment to be like, you are too pure-hearted to watch these absolutely atrocious people be disgusting.
I feel like I've seen worse since then too. Oh, we'll get it. They want to know what it is, I'm sure. What was it called again?
Succession.
Oh, Succession. Yeah. I mean, I fast forward a lot through a lot of these shows. Okay. And this is a side note, but related, but this is what my thought that I had a few minutes ago. And I have to say it because I can still remember it. Yeah. When I first said like need for novelty and stimulation, it's actually not about that at all. It's about like, I don't know if any of you guys do this. When I am, for example, if I'm tidying my house, I'm trying to get things together. Let's say I go and I'm taking something to the laundry room, and then along the way, I see a can, and so I drop the laundry, and then I grab the can, and then I can't stay focused on one task of like putting away the laundry. I am like running through the house doing all of these other micro tasks.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm being super productive, but I don't know if it takes longer or shorter. Is this an ADHD thing?
Oh, it's fully an ADHD thing, and that's so funny. Sometimes it's bad enough. It's been a long time, but there have been a few times where I've been
and you forget what I'm doing
that way. But that like Caitlin and I will send a video being like, "Okay, please just walk through what I was just trying to do." So, like, I was trying to put this pair of shoes away in my closet, so I had to go to the mudroom and pick up the shoes. And when I was in the mudroom, I realized there was like fur, like clusters on the floor from the dog. So I walked over and I got the little dust vac, dirt devil,
dustbuster,
and I'm like, and I'm doing that. But when I was in the closet getting the dustbuster, I realized that the pillow shams I bought 2 weeks ago for the den, I never put on the pillow. So hold on really quick. I'm just going to take those into the den. I'm going to put those on the pillow really quick. And now these old shams, I need to wash these because I told my mother-in-law I was going to give them to her. So then I'm in the laundry room doing that. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't wash any of these shirts that I need for this business trip next week. Let me do that. But I forgot. I was going to buff my shoes for the business trip. Hold on, let me go to my closet where I was originally going to drop shoes off and get the other shoes that I need to buff them. And then I don't even know where I put the original pair of shoes down.
And meanwhile, you defrost the chicken for tonight and throw out a tea bag.
Also, that's just like one example. And do that like 49 times throughout the day.
That is
mine. It's bad for me. That's actually.
But the worst is when I'm in the middle of one and I forget where I was going. Like I don't even know.
When you stop and you walk into a room and you're like, "Why am I in here? Why are my toes pointed into this doorway? What am I doing in here?"
Oh my gosh! Number 15.
Oh no.
Difficulty with prioritization.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Is that not related? With so many things on their minds, it can be challenging for women with ADHD to prioritize tasks effectively.
Well, and I'll prioritize just based on my sheer level of interest, which, by the way, scares nobody. You know what I mean? Because there's some things that are more urgent than others. But
oh my gosh.
I do need to unbox this wedding gift first, not take the burning casserole out of the oven.
Last but not least, strong intuition.
Yeah.
Many women with ADHD have a strong sense of intuition and empathy. They are often deeply attuned to the emotions and needs of others, making them excellent at understanding people's feelings and building strong relationships.
Yes. And I think that's one of my biggest personal strengths, and that's one of my biggest professional strengths.
I always just thought that was because we're like quite different from our parents. We're more feelers than thinkers. And so we had to really like learn how to use that skill. I didn't realize until recently that was an ADHD thing. Okay, that was fascinating. Wasn't that interesting?
Yes. One of the interesting things about ADHD is that there are so many traits and behaviors that I have no idea are ADHD related, but I like learn something new every day that are ADHD related.
TikTok.
Yeah, I learn a lot from TikTok. But you know how I spill on myself all the time?
Oh my gosh. Since the day you were old enough to spill. Yes.
Yeah, that is an ADHD symptom.
Really? Ooh, and what about forks versus spoons. I literally hate spoons.
Oh, well, you know what? Autism and ADHD are like cousins, you know?
Okay.
So there's some like interesting sensory things that, well, so yeah, that makes sense. It's like me and shoes.
What about them?
We,
You don't want to wear them.
I have speaking of visceral reactions, I have visceral reactions to having shoes on my feet.
Lorelai is you.
I can't wear shoes. I also exclusively walk on my tiptoes. I am
Same with
34
Lorelai.
years old.
So interesting.
But my trainer, Paco, did say that my calves are ripped.
I bet your ankles are really strong.
Probably. I don't know.
So what about like, let's talk about some practical things. And LOL, like the theme of this is going to be, we don't do it well and we're still successful. So don't let it hold you back.
Yes.
But
yes,
that's the theme. That's the theme. But how do you, for work stuff, especially, how do you stay? So, okay, just to what am I trying to say? Remind everybody, like we are both multiple six-figure earners. We're clearly very successful in our fields. People would say, like the misnomer would be like, oh, ADHD, you're going to struggle. You can't be as successful. You have this disadvantage.
Right.
By the way, in a few minutes, I'm going to read a list of women with ADHD who are like crazy, famous, successful. We're successful. How do you stay organized for work?
I need to visually see everything that I need to accomplish.
Yes.
So I do make lists, and I will make lists of the things that I have to do. And so that list will exist somewhere, but then I translate it into, lists.
Lists.
I take those lists and I translate them into calendar events.
Oh, okay.
And that's where it ends up getting prioritized for me. So if I have these 5 things to do, I'm going to find slots in my calendar for me to complete them, and I will schedule them based on their like level of urgency.
But that also prevents people from scheduling you for a meeting during that time, right? So you can actually get things done.
For the most part, yes. I mean,
they do it anyway, but
I was going to say, yeah, they do it anyway. My boss calls me at like 9 p.m. all the time. But yes, for the most part. And also why it's important is that I look at my calendar probably 50 times a day because I'm in a lot of calls and meetings throughout the day. And so I'm always looking to see like what's next, what's happening, who I'm having to speak to, what I'm going to have prepared. And so having those visual reminders of my to-do list as well makes sure that I can't forget them. Because if they were just on the list somewhere and then I didn't look at that list for 5 hours, I will have forgotten every single one of those things that I need to do. But so that keeps it as a visual reminder throughout the day. And I've created the time for it. And I've like prioritized it by, again, urgency.
I think that's so smart. I never thought to, interestingly, I have a digital calendar because that's how people book me in Calendly for different things. But for me personally, I still use like a paper planner and I write stuff in here, isn't that funny?
I love that, but I would use that for literally 2 days and then it would never get opened again.
That's me with the digital calendar. I cannot with a digital calendar. I just started writing in tasks in here just today was when I was just like, oh, I'm going to do this time. So it's really interesting you said that. I think the way you're handling, you're using that as a tool is really good.
The other nice thing about it is because I'm in like Google Calendar, I get the notification on my phone as well. So I'm like getting a pop-up reminder on my phone being like, in 10 minutes. Oh, cute.
Caroline gets married in literally a month. She will be married a day, like yesterday in a month. And she just held up her phone and she and her fiance are on there. Super cute.
Cute. I love it. Oh, but so I'll get a little pop-up being like, in 10 minutes, you need to work on XYZ spreadsheet or whatever.
Do you do it though?
It depends. So like we were talking about earlier, if there's like fear or anxiety associated with it, will I move that out a few more times if I have the luxury of the time to do so? Absolutely. Probably the third spot it lands in on my calendar is when it actually gets done. However, if there is a real time crunch associated with it, or I'm going to be in front of a particular audience that I need to be like, those things will motivate me and I will get things done.
So you do force yourself to move it at that point. You don't just, okay. So that's the thing that you are making yourself do is use the calendar. And if you're not going to do it, then you move the event.
Yes, but I cannot delete it obviously until it's done. Like it absolutely get done. But like fear will motivate me pretty significantly.
That was my next question is what do you use to motivate yourself?
And this isn't like healthy or normal, but like I care deeply about performing well. I'm sure like anyone who's listened to this podcast has heard from Lizzie that like performance was very important in our household growing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much shaped me as a professional. I care about performing well and I care about performing notably. That pressure will motivate me to do what I need to do. and do it as well as I can. And sometimes that's like when the hyper focus and like attention to detail will really kick in and help me. Yeah, fear and fear of failure. And also I am competitive. Like if you
competitive, you're very competitive. Yep.
If you're around me normally, you wouldn't really know that I'm competitive, but I professionally am very competitive. And so that will motivate me too. I want to do better than you.
I think that's so interesting. My biggest motivator is there's two ways I want to answer this. This is such an interesting question.
I also love money. I do. Like I like not
Yeah.
value, like I love
You love to travel and go to
comfortable lifestyle where I get to pursue the things that I enjoy. And when I was younger, that wasn't as much of a thing. But once I reached a level professionally where I was making more money, that really that motivates me too.
Yeah, no, money's a big motivator. I have this thing where I have to prove myself before I die. Like I have to prove what I know I'm capable of, and it's a big motivator for me. So that's like the big one. Underscore, like for me, yours would be fear. Mine would be like, so in a way it's competitive, but with myself, but also like I've got to show myself and everyone else like what I'm made of. But for me on a day-to-day basis, it's actually the positive side of it. I get such a dopamine hit from work and from attacking projects and from completing projects and from creating something new. What was it? There was one of those, it was one of the items on the list. It was the novelty and stimulation. So for me, sitting down to work is like the best brain candy on the planet. Now, are there tasks that I hate? Yes. And those often get procrastinated and written on the next list and the next list, or I'm begging my VA to do it for me, or I'm trying, those get procrastinated. But for the most part, that's the big motivator for me is loving what I do.
I was going to say that is so awesome and
weird, right? It's kind of, I'm thinking about in our culture, that's weird.
It's such a luxury. I wouldn't say it's weird, but it is a luxury. I think to get to really love and be passionate about what you're doing versus just having to do something because it's what sustains you and sustains your family, or it's the stepping stone to what you eventually want to do or whatever. Because there are things about my job that I love, but I do not love.
You don't do it because you like it. Yeah.
Right.
I will say, like, so yes, it's a luxury, and we had to sacrifice a lot for me to get to this point. So
totally. That's a really, really important a nuance to it. Is that
it's not like privilege. Yeah, like how I have privilege of the way I was raised. Yeah.
Earned with a lot of sacrifice and a lot of time and energy. Yeah. You have worked to exist in this professional place. Like you've worked very hard to be here and you've earned it.
And we went through a decade of not having enough money and the house going into pre-foreclosure twice and so many credit cards being, this was years and years ago, but
went through it though.
We went through it financially and it was like, okay, I'm either going to keep working towards this goal so we can have the life that we have today. Thank God I stuck with it, because there were a lot of times when anyone else would have quit, mostly because it looked stupid. It looked like it wasn't going to work. And we were having all of these very real consequences from it. So very, very, but yeah, you're right. I do think though, people for their side hustle can have something that gives that like sparks the joy.
Totally. And I would hope that that's more common than not.
Right. But like you, I didn't even say this before. For the organization, I do a lot of lists. Well, I think I said, no, I held them up. I do a lot of lists. How do you refocus your attention when you get distracted?
So I am a big timer setter.
Okay.
So my days are very busy and there are pros and cons to that. But because I have so many calls and meetings and a lot happening there, for the more days than not, there's quite a bit of structure to my day, because I know I'm going to be in these calls, whatever else. So the gaps in time that I do get, I get to choose how to spend them. And if I know that I need that 20-minute break in between those calls to like disassociate and scroll on Twitter or whatever it is, I'll set a timer. And it's like, these are the 15 minutes I get, because I'll just get lost in the sauce. And so that timer going off is like, okay, it's time to get back up and go do XYZ that you need to do. Timers is a big one for me, like that. I need that accountability. So I kind of choose the time when I know I'm going to be not focused, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But when I have days that are not as structured, again, I have that like to-do list, and it's really got to do with like the level of urgency of the things that I need to do.
Yes.
And so if there is urgency around it, that's what's going to snap me back into being focused when I have lost it. It's just like how urgent and who the deliverable is for.
I can be really bad about and it comes from the overwhelm. I'll have a list of things and I know I need, and I only have, and so like you, my day is so structured because we are handing the kids back and forth and the nanny's coming and going and all of these, recordings are happening and whatever. So part of it that pushes me forward is just the structure that is innate in the day.
Yeah.
But when I have let's say I don't have calls and like today I had a, several hour block to get things done. And I'll sit there and kind of piddle around. And it's not because I don't want to work. It's because I'm looking at the list like, where do I start?
The overwhelm of all the things.
It's the overwhelm. And I'm trying to think of like kind of what I do. And I will say this, okay, this is something I've used. So back in my early entrepreneurship days, there was a book called Eat That Frog. And it told you, it was all about time management. Do you remember that? So Eat That Frog is a book. It's about time management. And what it tells you is like to structure your day, you should do the hardest thing first. Like get the hardest things done first.
I still think about this sometimes because of you talking about this probably 12 years ago.
Yes.
There are times like I think about it the most probably when we're cleaning the house and there are certain things that I just do not want to do. Like I don't want to do the litter box or I don't want to unload the dishwasher or whatever it is. And I really stop when I think about like which one's the hardest because after I do that, I will have more momentum. And I will try to swallow the frog. I genuinely do think about that with some regularity.
Does that work for you? Because it doesn't work for Lorelai.
It can work for me, yes. But you know what's interesting? I feel like, and this might come up again later, I don't know, but I'll just say it now because I won't remember it in 7 seconds, that my ADHD has changed as I've just matured as a person. So, for example, as you, I'm sure, keenly remember, I struggled academically. Again, not because of capability, but just because of the ADHD. Like I would not turn in assignments I'd even completed. Like I just had weird, you know what I mean? Like I was just a classic ADHD kid in school where I could not focus to study. I could not do anything without medication at the time. But I went to graduate school later on as an adult in my mid to late 20s without any medication. And I was able to focus and go to class and do my work and do the readings and whatever else in a way that I was never able to as a younger child. So
do you take medication now?
No, I have not taken medication since I stopped taking medication while I was in undergrad. So okay. I don't think I have taken medication since like 2011.
Do you wish you did? Like, do you ever sometimes think about it or do you feel like you need it?
I have thought about it again. Yes. Because, there is like a misnomer about ADHD that it is like exclusively an issue for students, right? Like it hinders you academically. It's like a learning disability where in fact it's how your whole brain is functioning every single day, all the time. And so there are certain things like when we were talking about the squirreling, the rabbit holing, doing activities and things like that. I'm like, if I took some 5 ants, this would not be happening. Or I would have an easier time starting my day and tackling those tasks. And I would be more on top of getting our laundry done and things like that. I have that perspective now as an adult, but like, wow, I can see how advantageous it would be to take medication. Have I created workarounds for all of these things? And do I like live, survive, thrive on a daily basis without medicine? Yes. But can I see it making it easier in certain instances? Yes. But when I was younger, I was really offended by the medication.
That's right.
I had a doctor tell me how much more pleasant I was while I was on the ADHD meds. And he said that to me when I was like 14. And I was resentful till my early 20s.
Is that the same doctor who said I was bipolar? I'm just curious. That was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the pediatrician, yeah, who said I was bipolar. Not quite, sir. No, I will not be taking lithium. I literally just need some therapy. I need someone to care about my feelings. That's it.
So he was off base once or twice,
Once or twice.
Anyway, so now I could see myself maybe taking medication, and I've thought about it. But you want to know what's hilarious? I have ADHD, and getting myself to the doctor to have a conversation about ADHD medication will happen in like 6 years. Whenever I
may have like what do you call it? Derailed you because you were going to say something about it was like a thought that you were like, I better say this now or I'll forget. My ADHD has changed over the years from childhood to adulthood.
Right, just like with maturity. Because I'm a mature adult that has a job and has responsibilities and I have to like sustain myself and my lifestyle and all these things. I know what tasks I need to do and have to get them done because I understand what's at stake. Like I am responsible for my life in a way that I wasn't when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And so
prefrontal cortex and all that.
Yes. And so even though I still have the ADHD, I have the self-awareness and understanding to know that I need to prioritize and complete XYZ and have this kind of structure and overcome what I know exists within the ADHD, right? Like the blockers and roadblocks that it's creating. Like I know that I have to navigate past them and around them to get things done. So there's just like some more maturity with it.
So I want to kind of wrap up with this concept, and then I'm going to read a quick list of successful women with ADHD. But I really wanted to ask you this because I know you'll have opinions about what you think the biggest misconceptions are about ADHD, especially with women. Okay. I had one because remember I grew up and I was never diagnosed and I never even noticed. When did you even say you started watching? It was probably 2020 and you were watching TikTok and you're like, girl, you have, because it was presented so differently in us. I was a very focused student.
Yes, but there are some other like personality similarities that I would see us have.
Oh, like what?
Well, how we both will be like squirrel and very excited and lose our train of thought and other things. I know there's
hyperfixation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like the way that you and I will like get excited and spend on things. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was just like certain traits where I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. But also you're like super, super creative. You have insanely high emotional intelligence. Like you can be really hyper focused. I feel like you are really adaptable. So like you had like, you know, a myriad of them. But wait, what was the question? It was
about misconceptions about ADHD. It was my fault. I asked you a second question.
I think a really big misconception, and I don't know that it's as big now. I think it was big when I was growing up, and it's one that I had to recognize as well, is that, again, like I was saying earlier, it's not just a learning disability. It wasn't until I was in my 20s that I realized on a day-to-day basis how it impacts everything I do. It's impacting me as I'm driving. It's impacting me while I'm working, while I'm cooking, while I'm showering, while, you know what I mean? The whole way that my brain is firing is impacted by this. It is not just when I'm doing homework. And so learning that, oh my gosh, why would this question not stay in?
Oh, because it's misconceptions. It's because it's actually kind of challenging.
So yeah, I think that's a misconception. You talk to a lot of people who are starting businesses and becoming entrepreneurial and like, you know, striving towards challenging goals. So you might hear this more. I have never at least felt that because I had ADHD, it would keep me from being successful.
Yeah,
so
same.
I think anyone who thinks that's listening, well, stop it.
Yeah. It's just a thought. It's not the truth. It's just a thought.
Right. Totally. There are so many things about it that I think make us such creative, interesting, focused, like problem solving.
And actually perfect for entrepreneurship types of people.
Totally. So yeah, I don't think I have more than that. I think a big misconception, it's really because of just how it was treated when we were growing up. I really thought it was, you know, academically.
Bless you. It's the freaking cedar or oak or whatever. Cedar. Okay, so that was actually the perfect thing to say because I'm going to read you a list of famous women diagnosed with ADHD. And this is confirmed. It was created 6 years ago. Margot Robbie, Michelle Rodriguez, Simone Biles, Rita Simmons, Zooey Deschanel, Eva Longoria, Emma Watson, Sheridan Smith, Greta Gerwig, Shakira, Jessica Alba, Avril Lavigne, Nelly Furtado, Mila Kunis, Carrie Underwood, Hilary Duff, Sophie Turner, Mara Wilson, Liv Tyler, Emmy Rossum, Taylor Swift, Kristen Ritter. Yes.
That shocks me.
Yes, she actually has been in ongoing treatment since she was a child.
No way.
Yeah, Kristen Ritter, Lily Allen, Victoria Pedretti, Jennifer Connelly, Mel B, Cara Delevingne, I don't know if I said that right, Amelia Clark, Paris Hilton, Solange, Dakota Johnson, Cameron Diaz, Katie Prince, Amy Adams, Hilary Swank, Salma Hayek, Chloe Bennett, Julia Fox, Megan Fox, Alice Eve, Busy Phillips, Zoe Saldana, Alicia Keys, and Florence Pugh. And, of course, Jenna Kutcher. So, clearly we're in the right sisterhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an impressive list of people.
I know. I actually didn't realize it was going to be that long.
Accomplished list of people.
Yeah, sorry about that. But
very creative and talented people.
So I hope that this is helpful. Number one, you guys are going to hear me talk about this a lot more. Your mindset is everything. You can either think and believe and act as though ADHD is going to be crippling to you and paralyze you from any success and prevent you from going forward, or you can believe that everything is figure outable and you can turn this into a superpower. I think that the key is analyzing and understanding your own limitations and then filling the gaps. So if you're struggling at a really extreme rate, get your tush to the doctor and let them help you. And maybe some medication can change the game for you. And if you don't want to do that, go to a holistic doctor, go to a functional medicine doctor and find out what natural things you can be doing. Because I know that there are certain diets and things like that, things you can remove from your diet that can help a lot. And now for me, the whole reason I was on Tracy Otsuka's podcast was because I'm just like, pretty sure I have ADHD, refuse to get diagnosed. Thank you and good night. And usually she requires that people are diagnosed to be on the podcast, but she thought that would be an interesting conversation point. And I just said, listen, it's not I don't feel held back in any way, shape, or form. I feel energized, excited. And I'm not going to speak in absolutes and say I would never get diagnosed. I would never have medication. I don't know what menopause is going to bring for me. So I think getting the tools around you that'll help you thrive, whether it's medication, whether it's functional medicine, whether it's just resources, like Tracy Otsuka's book, whether it's community. Like, what if it was just normalized for you a little more? What if it's just getting on TikTok and listening to the people and feeling like less of an alien?
Yeah, I think it's huge, even just having awareness about it. Because again, I'm not medicated. I do have a diagnosis, but being aware of what kind of roadblocks you may have because of ADHD helps you like plan around them. Like you can really circumnavigate any of the things that hold you back if you just have awareness of them, and you can create tools or processes to help you, overcome. Because like that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm not just having an understanding of the way that I function and operate, and where I know there might be pitfalls and how I can work around them. Like it's powerful.
It's a beautiful time in history to be a woman with ADHD because we're understanding it better. We're developing tools and it's no longer ostracized. It's just neurodivergence. Oh, cool. We need to help you in this way. And so I think it can be very empowering. And now we have literally chatted, interrupted each other, mostly me, changed subjects and spiderwebbed 1,000 times over the course of an hour and 2 minutes. So, Caroline, thank you so much for your willing to be vulnerable and come chat.
Thank you for having me. I hope this was interesting.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I think so.
Comments, I told y'all I will feel deeply any rejection and criticism.
Yeah. Be gentle. Be gentle. Be gentle. Well, guys, thank you for hanging out. I hope it's encouraging and you've enjoyed our company and community around this, because you are not alone and you can do this. So until next week, go make something awesome. I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on this episode of How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're looking for more resources, head on over to howtosellyourstuff.com, where you'll find podcast show notes, all the links from today's episode, the blog, courses, coaching, and more. If this episode was helpful to you, awesome. The greatest compliment I can receive from you is a rate, review, and subscribe on this podcast. Not only will it allow us to connect again on a future episode, it lets me know I'm providing you with value and helps other people find this content more easily. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support. Have a great day and see you next time.